introduce our first. Okay, thank you very much for joining us in our second webinar today. First of all, I will do an acknowledgement of our country. The Australia-ASEAN Academic Forum Online Education during COVID-19 and beyond acknowledges the traditional owners of the land where this program was developed, the Palawa people of the Latu Kwata Nations. We pay respect to the traditional owners, to the elders past, present, and emerging of the land on which all the University of Tasmania campuses stand. On behalf of the University of Tasmania, we acknowledge all countries participating in this forum and also acknowledge their elders and ancestors and their legacy to us. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands where our partners and participants live, work across Australia and Southeast Asia. Today, we are very lucky to have two presenters from the Philippines and Cambodia. Our first presenter today is Mr. Rene Marquez Bonifacio from Central Mindanao University, the Philippines. So Mr. Rene Bonifacio is an assistant professor of English at Central Mindanao University. He accomplished his Master of Arts in English Language Studies at Mindanao State University Institute of Technology. His research interests include Indigenous language studies, language documentation, social linguistics, and language pedagogy. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, he conducts his classes through synchronous learning by providing pre-recorded lectures. After a few days, he organized an online consultation for the needs regarding the lesson, the task, and other pertinent details for them to complete the course. So we are very keen to learn what Rene has done in his context. So please allow me to invite Rene to start his presentation. And you can join me in welcoming him by choose a reaction symbol here. Everyone, welcome Rene. Thank you very much for joining. You can start sharing your slides now, Rene.
Yes. All right, so I hope that you can see my slide. Yes. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rene Marquez Bonifacio from Central Mindanao University, and I'm going to present my research. It's a classroom research. Okay, the title is Managing Asynchronous Online Classes, Embedding Question and Answer Videos, Pre-recorded lectures for better student participation and interaction. The coronavirus pandemic has revamped the quality of or the delivery of quality education to everyone, most especially in different parts of the globe, not only for college students, but also to, let's say, grade school and high school students. And because of the coronavirus pandemic, we were limited as to, we weren't able to conduct classes with using the normal face-to-face, but we were able to look for ways on how to conduct our classes, like using 3 modes of learning. Like for instance, in the Philippines or in my home institution, we actually provide 3 modes of learning. One is modular instruction, another one is asynchronous learning, and then another one is the synchronous learning. Okay. we cannot deny the fact that most of our students experience a lot of problems or hurdles along the way. Specifically in the Philippine context, we experience poor internet connectivity. Okay, why? Because there are a lot of students who live in far-flung areas, and if they live in far-flung areas, they have this limited internet connection. And they are the ones left behind if, for example, if I am going to provide them the synchronous type of learning. Another one is financial constraints. Why? Because not all students have gadgets or have, let's say, money to buy gadgets, to buy load, or to have themselves or to have their houses with to be connected with Wi-Fi connection. And then we also have this limited access to advanced technologies because not all students have their laptops and Wi-Fi's. Some students only use mobile phones. Okay, and with that, I provided them the asynchronous learning, and it's also recommended by our university. Okay, and in this particular research, the main objective is to increase student participation and interaction using student video responses. Later, I'm going to show you an example of a video of my lecture video. Okay, and then, okay, here's the methodology. Okay, prior to the making of my video, a week before that, I give assignments to my students, and I give them a 10-second student responses, and there are at least, let's say, 5 to 10 questions. Okay, and that would be included in my lecture. And then I also provided them a rubric on how their presentation or their videos are being rated. And then after that, I'm going to edit my video. For instance, if I'm done making my PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to video myself. And then after that, I'm going to insert the video responses of my students. And then after that, I'm going to upload my lectures on YouTube. And then after 2 days or 3 days, I'm going to give them, or let's say if they have clarifications, I'm going to conduct a student consultation via Google Meet or Zoom. Okay. And then to gather data for this particular research, I conducted an informal interview to my students. Okay, why informal? So that they won't be, let's say, it's not the really formal interview. It's like a little conversation with them so that they would feel at ease, comfortable with the questions. Okay, and based on the findings of my study, it's not only student participation and interaction that were improved, okay, based on my lecture, because independent learning, resourcefulness, and creativity were also found in this study. Why is it that independent learning? Because they need to look for answers. For example, if they do not have a good internet connection, or they don't have a library in their hometown or maybe in their province, they really need to dig. Okay, independent learning. And then resourcefulness, they're going to make use of whatever gadget or whatever that they have. And then creativity, because there are students who edit their videos. Okay, and for the conclusion, this is the conclusion: incorporating student video responses in lecture videos contributes to better learning amidst the worldwide crisis. And at this point, I'm going to show you one video. I hope that you would be able to enjoy. Okay, I hope so. I'll show you one video, and we'll just cut it after the first question and answer, or the first set of the video responses of my students. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, I hope that it would be audible. Is it audible, Vin? Okay, good. Good day, everyone, and I hope they're safe and healthy. For this week's lesson, we're going to discuss about compelling oral presentation. This is a very essential topic, most especially that after done with the research proposal, or maybe you're done with your thesis, you'll be defending your paper in front of a panel, or in front of your thesis advisor, your panel members, or maybe your professor and your classmates. It's also applicable if you're going to report on a certain topic. But before we proceed, I have a question, and that is, have you ever experienced a very boring, lifeless, and frustrating presentation? Your answers are interesting. So, how do we make our presentations powerful? We'll find the answers as we go along. So, come and let's learn. The objectives for this lesson are compose a speech, deliver a speech employing the ethics of public speaking, create a visual presentation for the discipline-based research, and present a discipline-based research in a virtual research forum. Let's begin with, how do you prepare for your speech presentation? By the way, this is the first question. I'm just going to show you the first question and the responses of my students. This will be very quick. Look at the video.
You can start by organizing your major speech points and practicing your speech.
I will prepare by reviewing my research and calm myself down.
Identify your problems and be interesting.
Understanding your topic and organizing your thoughts are the keys to a prepared presentation. Also, being logical and constantly rehearsing will help for an effective delivery.
Brainstorming and establishing the main topic should be done first, as well as keeping into mind the proper structure for your speech.
In preparation, I usually define my audience first so that I'll be able to organize my speech and practice a lot so that I'll be able to speak.
Practice your speech few weeks ahead of the actual presentation. Record yourself and see how fast or slow you are speaking. Watch your body language and how you use your hands to address your audience.
Just practice and keep practicing until you are comfortable and confident with your speech.
Organize things such as a planned outline are essential in preparing for speech presentation because this will help you know what to do next in accordance with the design structure.
There are many ways of... All right. So after that, I provided them a synthesis based on their answers and then move to the next until the presentation is done. All right. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation. And I hope that you enjoyed and you learned something from my presentation.
Thank you very much, Rene, for sharing your very interesting videos and the interaction that you have made in your videos. That's wonderful, right? It's wonderful to see the interaction and the student response in your video. In fact, the video more interactive and certainly it's engaged. It promote engagement.